Alright guys, I'm going to try to pull the engine out of the frame today. I tried to get some friends to come over, a friend or someone to come over and help me get this thing out of here, but everyone's freaking busy for a while, so I'm going to try to do it myself. I've seen tons of people doing it online by themselves, so I know it's definitely doable. But what I'm thinking about doing is laying these blocks down like this, and then something like that, laying the blocks down and then lowering the frame to that height, and then transferring the frame to the blocks, and then laying I don't know, something on the ground, it's kind of cushion it tipping over, and also catching any oil that leaks out, or because I do see a bunch of oil that leaks out when people do it by themselves. Because I don't want everything all over the floor. So, yeah. So I'm thinking I'm going to lower the jack down level with the blocks of wood, then transfer the frame on the blocks of wood, move the frame, then lay some something down, and then tip it on that, and then pull the frame off the engine, and then that should be good. So we'll see what happens. Wish me luck. I will do an update as I'm going, and so you guys can kind of see the process. So, but yeah, as you can see, everything's off the bike, except I missed the negative wire for the battery. It's still the ground right there, so I'll quickly take that off. Throw that with the rest of the electrical I have on the bike, and then everything is off the bike. So that's the last thing that is on the bike, besides bolts and all that good stuff, which I'm going to leave on. Also, I'm going to take off the gas tank things. Yeah, they just pop right off, so I'll take those off, put those with the gas tank. So yeah, everything else is off the bike that I can see. Yeah, so I'm going to start on that, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, as you can see, I got the nut off the bolt right there. I believe it's a 17 millimeter socket. Yep, 17 millimeter. This is a nut and washer. And then on the other side, I just got to pull this rod out right there. So I got a little hammer right here. All I gotta do is just hit the rod through, pull it out on the other side. It should just come right out. And then there's your negative wire for the battery. So that's out. So I'm just gonna throw the rod back in there for now, and then I'll take it out in a second. So I'm about to ready to jack the frame down and put on the blocks, but before I do that, I just want to make sure I know every spot that connects the engine to the frame. So obviously I know this rod right here connects it to the frame. The foot pegs, where the foot pegs used to be, connects it to the frame. So that's the second spot. And then the front right here, here's another little rod that goes through the front. Well, actually, it's not a rod. This is some bolts, actually. You can see the nut right there. There's the nut. So I'll take those off, one on each side. And then you can see there's a little bracket right here that connects the engine, so I'll take that off completely. And I think that's it. That keeps the engine to the frame. Also, before I take the engine out, I'm going to have to take the oil filter off. So I'll take this piece off right here, because otherwise you can see it's going to hit the frame when you try to pull the frame out. So I'll take the oil filter off. It's just a little bolt that you got to pull out, and then the oil filter, this guy should come right off. I already took it off previously and surprisingly, it's a brand new oil filter in there. So I actually bought another oil filter, but I didn't really need it. So, but I mean, I'm gonna keep it just in case because I will need it eventually. So, yeah. So I'm gonna take that off, and then I'll lower it down, pour it on the blocks. I'll unbolt everything I can, maybe except a couple rods. So when I tip it over, it's not gonna come shooting out. I'm just trying to do this safe and you know, best as possible because I don't want to ding up the engine or you know, any of the fins on it or crack anything, or you know, I want to do it as best as possible. So yeah, so basically I'm gonna get on that. Also, I just saw this little bracket right here I'm gonna take off as well. That actually holds on the rod I just took out for the negative wire. So I'm gonna disconnect that as well. See the bracket right there? Just 2 bolts. So basically, I'm just gonna start disconnecting all the brackets, disconnecting everything, I'm gonna leave the two rods through the frame, which I know of. So when I transfer the frame on the blocks, the frame will stay intact, and then I'm just gonna tip it over, and then I'll make sure I'll be able to pull the rods out the top once I get it on its side, and then the frame should easily come out. As you can see, there's definitely clearance on the top, and once I get everything out, you know, this thing should pop out. So, yeah. So I think, you know, that's what I'm going to end up doing right now. I'm going to give it a shot. Worst case scenario, if I can't do it, I will go run to my neighbor's house and be like, yo, come help me real quick. So, yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to get started on that, and then we'll see how it goes. Alright, as you can see, I got one of the brackets off. The bracket right here connected to this rod that goes through. As you can see, the only way to get the frame out is on the right side, because you see where it's connected on this side, it's welded onto the frame. So it's the only way, you know, that's why you have to tip it over on its right side to pull the engine out. But yeah, I got this one bracket out. I believe the socket size was 12mm. It's just the 2 screws right here, plus this this nut I took off already. So I already put that on, and I try to screw everything back together, just so you know, I know everything goes. Once I pull the engine out, I will put the bracket back on. Basically, the bracket goes on the inside like that. But yeah, basically, kind of see how it goes on the outside. You see, it goes just like that. Holds on the inside of the frame though. So that bracket's done. Next, I'm gonna move on that bracket right now, and then I'll move on to these inner bolts right here on the front of the frame, and then I'll take the oil filter off. So, all right, I'm gonna get on that right now. All right, guys, as you see, I got the other bracket off, which mounts right there. As you can see, there's 2 bolts right here, and then the other bolt that connects to the bracket. And then right in there is where the nut goes. The 2 bottom ones right here are 12mm sockets, and the top one is a 14mm. So I got that off. I also got the right side bracket off, which goes right here, which connects to this guy right here. That's another reason why it can only come out of the right side, because this bracket's welded onto the frame. So yeah, so that's why you just tip it over on this side, you know, the right side, and the engine should just pop right out. You just gotta pull the frame up. So that's that. So I got those brackets off, and then I just got these 2 rods, top and bottom right here, I gotta get off, and then I have to get the oil filter off, otherwise it's gonna hit the frame right there. So gotta get that off. But I got a problem in my garage. As you can see, all the lights are off. So all I have is the garage light, which is like, 60% of my lighting in this side of the garage. So I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if it's electrical or what, or a fuse blew or what. I checked all the fuses. I disconnected all the fuses and put them back in, and it's still not working. So I might have blown a fuse, and it's getting late. It's about like 9, 10 o'clock at night, something like that. I haven't checked in a while, but yeah. So worst case scenario, I don't know. I might keep trucking, or I might just wait till tomorrow as soon as I get off work. Because you can see it's getting really dark out. So I might wait till tomorrow to actually pull it out. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna play it by ear. I'm gonna check one more fuse in my basement and see because it's kind of connected with the garages. So I'm gonna go do that real quick. And if worst case scenario, if it doesn't work, I'm probably just gonna wait till I get off work tomorrow. I should be home around 2, so it'll definitely be light out. And I will pull this engine out. So all right, I'm gonna go try to finesse that, and I'll be back. Alright, I checked the fuses of the garage, in my basement and all that good stuff. I still couldn't fix the lighting, but I got an extra light right here, so I should have enough light to get this engine out. So I'm going to keep trucking on the engine. Like I said before, I got both brackets off. I also got the other bolt out of there on the left side of the frame. I also got the nuts off the rods. There's one right there, and there's the other one right there. There they are, both right there. Right. So once I tip it on its right side, I just gotta pull the rods out, and then the engine should be free. So the last thing I think I need to do is get the oil filter off. So I'm gonna work on that right now. I believe, yeah, it's a 17 millimeter nut. So I'm gonna get this the oil filter off real quick. It's spring loaded, so there's a spring in the oil filter. Alright, there she goes. There's a spring that just popped out. There's the oil filter. There's the spring. Let's see if I can get this. I'm trying to get the Alright, there she goes. Yeah, see, as you can see, brand new oil filter. As you can see, the rubber washer fell inside, so I gotta get that out of there. Just one on that side on the top, but the one on the inner won't come out. There she goes. She came out. I'll put that on there. But yeah, there's a brand new oil filter on there. So yeah, so that's how the oil filter pops right out of there. Alright, once I got all the brackets and the oil filter out, I actually lowered the frame. As you can see, it's right there on the blacks. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift by myself, try to lift the frame on the blocks. And once I do that, I'll be able to move the frame. I mean, not the frame. I mean, I'll be able to move the jack out of the way, and then I'll be able to tip the frame and engine over, and then pull the frame off the engine. So yeah, so that's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna get the engine on the blocks. So I'm gonna get on that. Alright, as you can see, I have the engine off the jack on the blocks. It was actually pretty easy. I figured that the engine and frame would be a lot heavier than it was, and it wasn't too bad. So, but yeah, you can see it right on the blocks. So I'm gonna pull the jack away. And I'll lay something down there, and I'll just lay it on its side, and then try to pull the get the two rods out, and then try to pull the frame, and the engine should be free. So I'm gonna try to put it on its side right now. All right, as you see, the jack's away. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm just gonna bang the rods through right now, just so I can pull them out easier. There's that one, and there's that one, and then that should be it. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna move it inside. All right, as you can see, I laid a little tarp underneath it and some old carpet I had laying around for some padding. I just laid it right down there, so I'll just tip it over. I don't have to worry about denting anything up, and if anything leaks, the carpet will soak it up and won't get on my garage floor. So, alright, I'm gonna start tipping this bad boy over. Alright, as you can see, I tipped it over. It was really easy. Just pushed it right over. And once I tipped it over, I realized I missed a little rod to disconnect. This rod right here. So I will pull that rod, disconnect it on the bottom, pull that out, and then that's gonna pull this rod that's sticking out already, and then this rod, and then the engine should be free. So we'll see what happens once I get that one rod taken off, and I'm gonna pull the other two rods, and the engine should be free. So I'm gonna get on that. All right, I got the other nut and washer off. This one was a pain, man. It took all my strength to get it out, but so you can see, it's free. So, I think the 3 rods are free. Yep, all 3 of them are free. So I'm gonna pull those rods out of there, and then the frame should just pop right over. So I'm gonna start doing that. There's one rod. This one has a couple washers. Some are a pain. Get a little better grip on this sucker. That one's being a little pain. See if this one will come out. There's that one. So the only rod that's being a pain is this guy. So I'm going to use both hands. I'm going to turn the phone off, and I'm going to try to pull that rod out. And then I will try to maneuver this gas tank out of there. Oh, not the gas tank. I don't know what I'm thinking. The engine. Sorry. So yeah, so I'm going to get on that. Alright, as you can see, the first attempt it was a dud. You can see the engine is free, and it's shifted, so it's now stuck in this freaking position. So I got to free that position somehow, and then relay it down. You can see, you know, it is apart. Everything is apart with the engine mounts and everything. So the engine is free, and I laid it down, but it just got caught right there on on the heads of the engine. So I got to figure out how to free that real quick and relay it down and try again. So I'm gonna try again, second try. So wish me luck. Alright, as you can see, the engine is out of the frame. I finally got out of there. It wasn't too hard. Once I started pulling the rear part of the frame and started like this, pulling it pretty good, and freed it up to get the engine out, and then it just popped right out. So engine is out. There's the frame. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put the all the rods back on the frame, all the brackets, just so I know how it got together. I'm going to put all the rods on the frame just so all the pieces are somewhat together. And yeah, engine is free, finally. So there she is. Then I could just start working on these freaking bolts right here. Get those out, put on my workbench, and start drilling those out. And then I can start working on the engine. I'm gonna start taking it apart, look inside, see what needs to be replaced, if anything. If everything looks good. I'm still kind of debating on what I'm gonna do with the engine. If I'm gonna do a full rebuild, or if I'm just gonna rebuild the top end, or what. Kind of see what my budget is. And kind of just go from there. So, but I'll know more once I start getting in there and figuring everything out. So, yeah, that's where I'm at so far. But the first thing I'm going to do is take those stupid bolts out of the exhaust ports, and then I'm going to start getting in there. Yeah, and in the frame, I'm not going to really do anything in the frame yet. I'm going to pretty much leave everything as is. Once I get the engine good, I'm going to throw the engine back in there and start throwing pieces back on that I'm going to use, and start doing a little mock-up. I'm going to start mocking up everything and make sure everything fits, buy anything I need. And then once I have everything where I know it's perfect, I don't have any issues, then I'll tear everything back apart and I'll start painting, working on the frame. I'm not going to do too much framework. I am going to cut the rear end off the frame. I'm going to do a little hoop on back. I'm going to weld a tray right here. I'm going to put all the electrical and all that good stuff in there. I'm going to hide that. I don't know what I'm going to do with the oil tank yet, because I kind of want to keep it open, but there's some ways I got in mind how I want to play that. So I'm going to work on that. I'm just going to, basically I'm going to mock everything up, cut all the brackets I'm not going to use off the bike. I know there's a couple I won't be using, so I don't want to paint the freaking frame, powder coat the frame, and then I know I need to cut something off and re-weld stuff, and then I'm screwed. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to clean everything up, put everything away, and then I'll start working on the engine. I'll start tearing that apart, work on that. Like I said, I have all new gaskets and hardware for the engine. So no matter what, I'm going to tear it apart, look at everything, So at least I'll know what I have to do with the engine. And then, yeah, just, play it by ear. So that's where I'm at right now. Alright, as you can see, I put the 3 rods back in, plus that bracket and all the bolts on the frame. So yeah, so the engine mounting, like I said, is one bolt right here, one bolt right here, which is connected to the bracket on the frame. Here's a bracket which is connected to the frame, plus the rod which is connected right here, and then the bottom rod where the pegs go. So yeah, so the frame's done for now. I'll put the frame away, and then there's the engine. So I'll put the engine away, the frame away, and clean up, and then yeah, that's it for now. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the teardown process of the bike. It was pretty easy. It pretty much took me about 4 days, but I only worked about 2 to 1 hour a day, so only a couple hours a day. So, probably, it's a good, good 6 to 8 hours by yourself, tearing it down. But yeah, so there she is, all apart, everything apart. I also, over here on the dark side of the garage, I have both tires with the rear axle, the air box, the electrical, the carbs, oil tank, the triple tree, and here's this all parts that I took off. So I'm keeping everything. Here's the swing arm, fenders, front forks. So yeah, so that's all the parts. It's kind of dark. It's getting late. It's about like 11 o'clock at night. So yeah, so there's everything. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed all the videos. Feel free to comment, or please subscribe to my channel. And I will definitely put more videos up. So yeah, so take care.